Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Oh yeah, the volcano looks so cool. Once again, I have a mod to enhance the coolness. Hopefully we'll get a good vista of the volcano. Oh, I like those wood planks. Cool texture.
You have prevailed. I can feel it.
Your people are free.
So it is. You have proven yourself an ally to the Skull, and so the Skull shall be allies to you.
What do we do now?
If you have released the Windstone and broken the hold on my people, perhaps you can do the same for the rest of Solstheim. I doubt it will fully stop whatever Miraak is doing, but it may slow his progress.
That's not enough. I need to stop Miraak now.
I cannot help with that. None here can. You will need the knowledge Miraak himself learned. You will need to learn more about this black book.
Tell me more about this book, then.
Miraak had this? This does not look like something of the dragon cult. It is a dark thing, unnatural. I would have nothing to do with it. But the dark elf wizard, Neloth. He came to us some time ago, asking about black books. I believe he knows a great deal about them. Perhaps too much.
Perhaps.
Seek him out to the south. Be cautious, Dragonborn. There is something else at work here.
What do you know about these black books?
Our traditions do not speak of them, but they and Miraak are connected. You read a black book and saw him. And the book's power comes from the same dark source as that which corrupted the Windstone. But beware, you are now walking the same road as Miraak. Allmaker shelter you.
I like that wood. I really do. Yeah, I must have a mod for Skull Village. Didn't look this good before. It's also like basically useless. It's very hard to do crafting here. I think there's only an alchemy merchant there, so it's tough. I'm going to clear the stones and see if it's possible to sleep here. I still can't bring Kaidan over, but I might be able to do some survival while I'm out here. Turn my sun helm back on. hope you all hear the lurker voice in your head, as I do. Hey, bunny. Oh, I heard Rikis.
Yol!
Oh, he's taking a nap. What is it? Oh!
I know I heard something.
Of course, they gotta sound like Murlocs from Warcraft when they like let that stuff out of their mouth. Like,
I thank you for your protection, Barney.
do a very good Murloc impression. I can just leave you guys to it. I don't really have to be involved here. Yeah, I wasn't even involved in that thing.
And when the world shall listen,
Yol!
What is it now?
I submit!
Ow!
Come from?
Ow! Be submit. Build things. Be submit. What? Ow! At least Daddy can't talk anymore. Or she. Could be a she.
What was that?
Kind of looks like a male body model though.
God's another one.
Alright, I need to run out to tell Mithrin. I might as well pick up Barrows on the way. Pick up a few quests. I won't be doing them right away though. I usually pretty religiously do the Barrows quest. Oh, there's no point to me being there on a horse, is there? They didn't think very far when they did this drawbridge. Yeah, I'm gonna get, my horns are gonna get stuck. Yeah, see? Ow, 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 ow. You guys were not, you didn't, yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna have to be off my horse anyway, pretty soon. It's pretty out here. Never thought you'd said that, huh? It's pretty in Solstheim. New models for Ash Spawn, so they look cool. Ash Spawn have ridiculous, either ridiculous armor or ridiculous hit points, or both.
And so it ends.
Thanks. I wasn't sure I'd make it off this farm alive.
What were those
I
things?
wish I could have said the same for my man here. Some of the Redoran Guard have taken to calling them Ash Spawn. Me, I don't care what they're called. All I know is they're a danger to Raven Rock and they need to be stopped.
How did that bring you to this old farm?
I was going to search for clues that might lead me to wherever they're coming from. I know it isn't the best place to start, but we know they've been coming from this direction.
I'd be glad to lend you a hand.
Good. I can use all the help I can get. Besides, I don't feel comfortable leaving Raven Rock behind. And I'd hate to lose any more Redoran Guard.
Very well. Where do I begin?
We were searching the farm when the Ash Spawn ambushed us. Have a look around and see if you can turn up anything useful. Report
Yeah,
back
this is
to me if you
okay.
discover
Hopefully
anything
they all
unusual.
died out in the open because they can get lost in the grass. I don't know why my auto looter doesn't loot the ash spawn, but they don't. But they're so cool looking. They're so cool when they're dead. Uh, oh, what was I given? Oh well. Keys. Where did he go? Sir? Wow, okay, he like fucked off. He's like back at. Okay, alright. Well, we'll get back to that later then. Oh no, he's right. Okay, he's right there. Boy, this is weird having this much in my inventory. Declaration of war, I believe it is. Graven Rock Stronghold, my calls for the unconditional surrender of your forces and an immediate cessation of all hostilities have been ignored numerous times. I therefore have no choice but to assume your purpose on Solstheim is hostile, and to treat Raven Rock Stronghold as an enemy of the Empire. I warn you, any attempt to breach Fort Frostmoth will be met with an equal level of aggression. I will do everything in my power to wipe you and your forces off the face of Tamriel. There will be no further communication between us. General Falx Carias, Garrison Commander, Fort Frostmoth. Another thing, I know Gideon Emery does the voice of that, and it's a very cool weapon. It gives you 3 types of damage, but
Have you
it gives
found
3
something?
types of damage if you disenchant it, and that will mean I can't display it. So, damn. I discovered this note on one of the ash spawn.
This is strange. The note says it's from General Falx Carius, but that's impossible.
Impossible? Why?
Well, Carius was the Imperial garrison commander at Fort Frostmoth, but he died over 200 years ago when the Red Mountain leveled the place. There's no way he could still be alive.
What do you want me to do?
If General Carius is still alive, there must be something keeping him that way. I need you to head out to Fort Frostmoth and check it out. I'm going to head back to Raven Rock and prepare the men for further assaults. Be careful. This General Carius sounds out of his mind.
And very ineffective. If he's been there for 200 years. And this is the first you've really heard of him. Yeah, isn't that cool looking? The volcano. I mean, horrible in a devastating way, but yeah. Okay, we'll talk to Rayla Sedaris up here. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's Kolbjorn Barrow she remembers exactly before they just get there. Kolbjorn Barrow. Okay.
I knew I heard something.
Yes, Sirrah?
What's the matter with you?
With me? What's the matter with you? Sorry, I've just had a lot of hawk-faced cowards coming by to mock my efforts. It probably can't hurt to tell you. You look mostly honest. The name's Rollis. Rollis Sedaris, out of Moorhold. I've got a financier waiting for me back on the mainland. Sent me here in the interests of obtaining some rare antiquities. The relics of Azador. But this whole thing became a disaster right quick, let me tell you.
What happened?
You come out of the northern ashlands, you don't expect things to go easy, you know. But this was something outside my particular expertise. When I first got to Kolbjorn, you couldn't even see it. Buried in the ash, like most other things on this blasted island. Dug out a pile of the stuff taller than me just to find the barrel. Who knows how much to reach the door? Excavating isn't exactly my specialty. Even if it was, the ash storms fill it in faster than you can dig.
Why not hire some of the miners out of Raven Rock?
You think I've got that kind of money? No, I only get paid on delivery. Can't afford to go out of pocket for 1,000 centimes on this. Takes money to make money, all that rot. There's a lot of it at the other end. But I can't get there without a little kick to start it off.
I've got some money. Are you looking for a partner?
What? Are you serious? Well, I think I could make that work. We can sort out the details of our little arrangement later. But for now, I'll manage the dig if you can manage the coin. Do you have the gold?
Of course. 1,000 gold.
It's all here. Well then, looks like I have a good bit of work to start on. I'll head back to Raven Rock and round up some diggers. Once we've got something worth looking at, I'll send word to you. Pleasure doing business with you, partner. I'll see you soon.
Like, what is the point even to all of these belt buckles? Like,
This can
why?
be a slow business. Digging takes time.
Why, Aeonbar?
Come around later and I'll have something
Why?
interesting to show.
Okay, cross country to Tel Mithrin. When I used to use the teleports, it was most often in a less modded game to just use a teleport to get to Tel Mithrin without coming over the book, coming over on the boat and officially drawing Mirak's attention. So if I used teleports, I could quest without actually starting the Dragonborn quest line, which was very helpful because Neloth is one of the only enchanter trainers in the game. He's a master enchanter trainer, and his assistant is a master conjuration trainer. So, yeah, that was very useful. So I'd port out here. I just don't do that anymore. I mean, yeah, I still do port, but not directly to Tel Mithrin. Anybody notice that the Netch look like the Elcor in... I mean, not the Elcor, the big stupid jellyfish from Mass Effect? Hanar.
From that look on your face, I'm guessing you've never seen a silk
It's a
strider
Hanar.
before.
Have you never seen a Hanar before? No, what is it?
This is Dusty. I personally trained her from a lava. Feels like a lifetime ago now. She hasn't been in travelling condition for quite a while now. I've tried to let her go off on her own, but she insists on staying here.
How do you survive out here?
We get by trading odds and ends with the locals. I've decided to stay here and make sure she passes in peace. It's the least I can do for her. Every once in a while, a local makes it out here, although they usually just want to catch a glimpse of Dusty. Silk striders are pretty rare now.
I'd like to purchase the Nyx Hound. What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
I'm gonna buy the Kagrim's Resonance Gem. This Kagrim's Resonance Gem has no icon, but is displayable in the museum and should not be sold or given away. Hold on to that.
Alright then.
Tell Nixie to meet me at Golden Hills. Come with me. Or... Nixie's bugged. Hey, Nix. Do I get...
Yes,
Are there
sirrah.
any summons? Yeah. I can teleport the pet Nix hound. Next time I'm...
Yes, sirrah.
Next time I'm there. I will try to remember. To summon the derp to me. Bantam guar. You're so cute.
Why are you out here? Aren't you supposed to be in the tower assisting Master
Why
Noah?
won't this summoning work? If you must know,
Hey, Talvis.
I'm trying
Talvis
to get
also
this
makes a
Asgardian
great
spell to work.
follower.
now let me concentrate. Besides,
And
shouldn't
he
you
can
be
summon you
worrying
in
about the damage
conjuration. I
to
mean,
the
he
tower?
can train you in
Master
conjuration.
Neloth has tasked Alenia with repairing the tower. Why aren't
Nothing.
you doing this in the lab, where it would be safer for all of us?
The lab is too small. Also, I need the ashy soil. Master Neloth knows what I'm doing. No need to bother him about it, though. He's quite busy at the moment.
It's on your head if something goes wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of on
Just
my
let me
head.
get back
No
inside
Ash
first.
Guardian. Maybe the book has something. I don't think you belong here. Does Master Neloth know about you? I'd better get going.
We don't get many visitors. Is there something you need? Mm-hmm.
You again? Didn't I see you in Raven Rock?
I hear you know where to find black books.
You refer to the tomes of esoteric knowledge that old Hermaeus Mora has scattered throughout the world? Is
Yes?
this somehow connected to your search for Mira?
Yes. Found a black book. I need to find more.
Found one? Yes. And you read it too, didn't you? Don't try to deny it. You've got the look. I can see it now.
Is it the horns?
Dangerous knowledge is still knowledge and therefore useful. Usually turns out to be the most useful, in my experience.
I have to know what Mirak knows if I want to stop him.
Now that is a dangerous path indeed. Hermaeus Mora gives nothing away for free. You may end up like Mirak, of course. Too power-mad Dragonborn. It could be very interesting.
Do you know where I can find another black book?
Oh yes. They're not hard to locate once you know how to look for them. I have one here that I've been using to locate more.
You have a black book?
Yes, I haven't been idle while this fascinating madness engulfed Solstheim. But my book isn't what you're looking for. I'm quite sure it is unconnected with this Mirak. But I do know where to find a black book that can help you.
So you know where to find this black book? The one connected with Mirak? He just said that.
Yes, I do. I haven't been able to get it, though. But maybe together we can unlock the secrets the Dwemer left behind.
The Dwemer? What do they have to do with this?
Forbidden knowledge was somewhat of a specialty of the dwarves, eh? You don't think they would just leave it alone, do you? It seems the ancient Dwemer discovered this book and took it to study. I found their reading room in the ruins of Nachardak. The book is there, but it's sealed in a protective case, which I wasn't able to open. But perhaps the two of us together will be able to get at the book.
Perhaps.
To Nachardak, then. Follow me.
To Nachardak. I think this is Rally's Tel Mithrin, the remake of the textures. It's a bit more oogie. You know, before you heal the tower, it's a lot more organic and squidgy. It's the Squidgy Tower remake. Okay.
2 fingers, pronated. What's pronated? Oh. Whoop.
Alright, hit the sunstone on the way.
Maybe that might work.
Okay.
What happened?
Long story. I'm gonna see.
I ain't going back to prison. Rather die in the ash.
I'd kill for a decent...
No, with
He's
Well,
got
that-
your eyes.
harvesting the night
Cycle
shift.
stuff. Line tree told me about.
Evil. Okay. It wasn't really the Earthstone, it was that. I'm gonna see if I can sleep in Redoran Grove. I'm gonna sit in a lovely spot and read a book. I still can't bring Kaidan over because I always forget to leave him at the base of the tower at Tel Mithrin, and I'm going up and down and up and down, and there's a lot of it in there, and I will break him, and I know better. I know better. I used to just ask him to stay outside, and it's such a pain in the ass, and I will forget. I'll forget to leave him there, I'll forget to pick him up. It's just a whole bunch of forgetting. Alright. Take a nice bath. I'll get out of the water before I eat apple pie. Don't want to mess up the water. Apple pie. Coffee, because I'm awake for a long time here, you know. It's a little lonely, but she's okay with peace. She spent a long time in prison. So, simple peace, simple quiet, where she has choices. Eat food she loves, and drink what she wants, and read a book is a huge thing. A Dance in the Fire, Volume 6, by William Jarre. Jackie Muscati sat down listening to Leotis Juris. The clerk could hardly believe how fat his former colleague at Lord Atreus's building commission had become. The piquant aroma of the roasted meat dish before Scotty melted away. All the other sounds and textures of Prilotha Hall vanished all around him, as if nothing else existed but the vast form of Juris. Scotty did not consider himself an emotional man, but he felt a tide flow over him at the sight and sound of the men whose badly written letters had been the guideposts that carried him from the Imperial City back in early Frostfall. "Where have you been?" Juris demanded again. "I told you to meet me in Falanesti weeks ago." "I was there weeks ago," Scotty stammered, too surprised to be indignant. "I got your note to meet you in Athay, and so I went there, but the Khajiit had burned it to the ground. Somehow I found my way with the refugees in another village, and someone there told me that you'd been killed." "And you believed that right away?" Juris sneered. "The fellow seemed very well informed about you. He was a clerk from Lord Vanek's building commission named Reglius, and he said you had also suggested that he come down to Valenwood to profit from the war." "Oh, yes," said Juris, after thinking for a moment. "I recall the name now. Well, it's good for business to have 2 representatives from Imperial building commissions here. We just need to all coordinate our bids and all should be well." "Reglius is dead," said Scotty. "But I have his contracts from Lord Vanek's commission." "Even better," gasped Juris, impressed. "I never knew you were such a ruthless competitor, Decimus Scotty. As this could certainly improve our position with the Sylvanar. Have I introduced you to Bast here?" Scotty had only been dimly aware of the Bosmer's presence at the table with Juris, which was surprising given that the Mer's girth nearly equaled his dining companion. The clerk nodded to Bast coldly, still numb and confused. It had not left his mind that only an hour earlier Scotty had intended to petition the Sylvanar for safe passage through the border back to Cyrodiil. The thought of doing business with Juris, after all, of profiting from Valenwood's war with Elsewhere, and now the second one with the Somerset Isles, seems like something happening to another person. "Your colleague and I were talking about the Sylvanar," said Bast, putting down the leg of mutton he had been gnawing on. "I don't suppose you've heard about his nature?" "A little, but nothing very specific. I got the impression that he's very important and very peculiar." "He's the representative of the people, legally, physically, and emotionally," explained Juris, a little annoyed at his new partner's lack of common knowledge. "When they're healthy, so is he. When they're mostly female, so is he. When they cry for food, or trade, or an absence of foreign interference, he feels it too and makes laws accordingly. In a way, he's a despot, but he's the people's despot." "That sounds," said Scotty, searching for the appropriate word, "like bunk." "Perhaps it is," shrugged Bast. "But he has many rights as the voice of the people, including the granting of foreign building and trading contracts. It's not important whether you believe us. Just think of the Sylvanar as being like one of your mad emperors, like Pelagius. The problem facing us now is that since Valenwood is being attacked on all sides, the Sylvanar's aspect is now one of distrust and fear in foreigners. The one hope of his people, and thus of the Sylvanar himself, is that the Emperor will intervene and stop the war." "Will he?" asked Scotty. "You know as well as we do that the Emperor has not been himself lately." Juris helped himself to Reglius' satchel and pulled out the blank contracts. "Who knows what he'll choose to do or not do? That reality is not our concern. But these blessings from the late good Sir Reglius make our job much simpler." They discussed how they would represent themselves to the Sylvanar into the evening. Scotty ate continuously, but not nearly as much as Juris and Bast. When the sun had begun to rise in the hills, its light reddening through the crystal walls of the tavern, Juris and Bast left to their rooms at the palace, granted to them diplomatically in lieu of an actual immediate audience with the Sylvanar. Scotty went to his room. He thought about staying up a little longer to ruminate over Juris' plans and see what might be the flaw in them, but upon touching the cool, soft bed, he immediately fell asleep. The next afternoon, Scotty awoke feeling himself again. In other words, timid, For several weeks now, he had been a creature bent on mere survival. He had been driven to exhaustion, attacked by several jungle beasts, starved, nearly drowned, and forced into discussions of the ancient Aldmeri poetical works. The discussion he had with Juris and Bast about how to dupe the Sylvanar into signing their contracts seemed perfectly reasonable then. Scotty dressed himself in his old battered clothes and went downstairs in search of food and a peaceful place to think. "You're up!" cried Bast upon seeing him. "We should go to the palace now." "Now?" whined Scotty. "Look at me. I need new clothes. This isn't the way one should dress to play a call on a prostitute, let alone the voice of the people in Valenwood. I haven't even bathed." "You must cease from this moment forward being a clerk and become a student of mercantile trade," said Leoris Juris grandly, taking Scotty by the arm and leading him into the sunlit boulevard outside. "The first rule is to recognize what you represent to the prospective client and what angle best suits you. You cannot dazzle him with opulent fashion and professional bearing, my dear boy, and it would be fatal if you attempted to. Trust me on this. Several others besides Bast and I are guests at the palace, and they have made the error of appearing too eager, too formal, too ready for business. They will never be granted audience with the Sylvanar, and we have remained aloof ever since the initial rejection. I've dallied about the court, spread my knowledge of life in the imperial city, had my ears pierced, attended promenades, eaten and drunk all of that was given to me. I dare say I've put on a pound or two. The message we've sent is clear. It is in his, not our, best interest to meet." "Our plan worked," added Bast. "When I told his minister that our imperial representative had arrived, and that we were at last willing to meet with the Sylvanar this morning, we were told to bring you there straight away." "Aren't we late, then?" asked Scotty. "Very," laughed Juris. "But that's again part of the angle we're representing. Benevolent disinterest. Remember not to confuse the Sylvanar with conventional nobility. His is the mind of the common people. When you grasp that, you'll understand how to manipulate him." Juris spent the next several minutes of the walk through the city expounding on his theories about what Valenwood needed, how much, and at what price. They were staggering figures. Far more construction at far higher cost than anything Scotty had been used to dealing with. He listened carefully. All around them, the city of Sylvanar revealed itself. Glass and flower, roaring winds and beautiful inertia. When they reached the palace of the Sylvanar, Decimus Scotty stopped, stunned. Juris looked at him for a moment, and then laughed. "It's quite bizarre, isn't it?" That it was. A frozen scarlet burst of twisted, uneven spires, as if the rival sun rising. A blossom the size of a village, where courtiers and servants resembled nothing so much as insects, walked about it, sucking its ichor. Entering over a bent petal-like bridge, the three walked through the palace of unbalanced walls. Where the partitions bent close together and touched, there was a shaded hall, or small chamber. Where they warped away from another, there was a courtyard. There were no doors anywhere, no any way to get to the Sylvanar but by crossing through the entire spiral of the palace, through meetings and bedrooms and dining halls, past dignitaries, consorts, musicians, and many guards. "It's an interesting place," said Bast, "but not very much privacy. Of course, that suits the Sylvanar well." When they reached the inner corridors 2 hours after they first entered the palace, guards brandishing blades and bows stopped them. "We have an audience with the Sylvanar," said Juris patiently. "This is Lord Decimus Scotty, the imperial representative." One of the guards disappeared down the winding corridor and returned moments later with a tall, proud Bosmer, clad in a loose robe of patchwork leather. He was the Minister of Trade. "The Sylvanar wishes to speak with Lord Decimus Scotty alone." It was not the place to argue or show fear, so Scotty stepped forward, not even looking toward Juris and Bast. He was certain they were showing their masks of benevolent indifference. Following the minister into the audience chamber, Scotty recited to himself all the facts and figures Juris had presented to him. He willed himself to remember the angle and the image he must project. The audience chamber of the Sylvanar was an enormous dome, with the walls bent from bowl-shaped at the base inward to almost meet at the top. A thin ray of sunlight streamed through the fissure hundreds of feet above and directly above the Sylvanar, who stood upon a puff of shimmering grey powder. For all the wonder of the city and the palace, the Sylvanar himself looked perfectly ordinary. An average, blandly handsome, slightly tired-looking, extraordinary wood elf of the type one might see in any capital of the Empire. It was only when he stepped from the dais, that Scotty noticed an eccentricity in his appearance. He was very short. "I had to speak with you alone," said the Sylvanar in a voice common and unrefined. "May I see your papers?" Scotty handed them the blank contracts from Lord Vannick's building commission. Sylvanar studied them, running his finger over the embossed seal of the Emperor before handing them back. He suddenly seemed shy, looking to the floor. "There are many charlatans at my court who wish to benefit from the wars. I thought you and your colleagues were among them, but these contracts are genuine." "Yes, they are," said Scotty calmly. The Sylvanar's conventional aspect made it easy for Scotty to speak, with no formal greetings, no deference, exactly as Juris had instructed. "It seems most sensible to begin straight away talking about the roads, which need to be rebuilt, and the harbors that the Altmeri have destroyed, and then I can give you my estimates on the cost of resupplying and renovating the trade routes." "Why hasn't the Emperor seen fit to send a representative when the war with Elsewhere began 2 years ago?" asked the Sylvanar glumly. Scotty thought a moment before replying at all the common Bosmeri he had met. Scotty thought a moment before replying. Of all the common Bosmeri he had met at Valenwood, the greedy, frightened mercenaries who had escorted him from the border, the hard-drinking revelers and expert pest-exterminating archers in the western cross of Felinesti, nosy old Mother Pascost and Hovelslump, Captain Balfix, the poor, sadly reformed pirate, the terrified but hopeful refugees of Athe and Grenos, the mad, murderous, self-devouring wild hunt of Vindisi, silent, dual boatman hired by Griffmalin, the degenerate, grasping Bast. If one creature represented their total disposition, and that of many more throughout the province, what would be his personality? Scotty was a clerk by occupation and nature, instinctively comfortable cataloging and filing, making things fit in a system. If the soul of Valenwood were to be filed, where would it be put? The answer came upon him almost before he posed himself the question. Denial. "I'm afraid that question doesn't interest me," said Scotty. "Now can we get back to the business at hand?" All afternoon, Scotty and the Sylvanar discussed the pressing needs of Valenwood. Every contract was filled and signed. So much was required, and there were so many costs associated that addenda and codicils had to be scribbled into the margins of the papers, and those had to be re-signed. Scotty maintained his benevolent indifference, but he found that dealing with the Sylvanar was not quite the same as dealing with a simple, sullen child. The voice of the people knew certain practical, everyday things very well. The yields of fish, the benefits of trade, the condition of every township and forest in his province. "We will have a banquet tomorrow night to celebrate this commission," said the Sylvanar at last. "Best make it tonight," replied Scotty. "We should leave for Cyrodiil with the contracts tomorrow, so I'll need a safe passage to the border. We'd best not waste any more time." "Agreed," said the Sylvanar, and called for his Minister of Trade to put his seal on the contracts and arrange for the feast. Scotty left the chamber and was greeted by Bast and Jurius. Their faces showed the strain of maintaining the illusion of unconcern for too many hours. As soon as they were out of sight of the guards, they begged Scotty to tell them all. When he showed them the contract, Bast began weeping with delight. "Anything about the Sylvanar that surprised you?" asked Juris. "I hadn't expected him to be half my height." "Was he?" Juris looked mildly surprised. "He must have shrunk since I tried to have an audience with him earlier. Maybe there is something to all this nonsense about him being affected by the plight of his people." Alright guys, I'm gonna try to sleep. Let's see what happens on the pile of blankets, carpets. Hey, I woke up in my own house. Good to know. Okay. All right. Off to meet Master Neloth. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful shot. Nice. Pretty volcano.
The Dwemer certainly knew how to build for the ages. These towers have outlasted their creators by millennia. The book is housed inside that dome. I'll need to unlock the door for us. Let's get on with it.
The Skal have always avoided ruins such as these. Nothing of the Allmaker is to be found within.
I vaguely remember often being unable to find my way inside here. Let's see if I do better this time.
I knew I'd find you. I'm gonna.
Those boots will look mighty.
Now I'm vaguely remembering, I think it just has more to do with waiting until, Neloth catches up, and then he can open the door.
Dwemer
Okay?
of the Chardak appear to have been fond of these these control pedestals. Luckily, I found a cube to operate it
Oh, dear.
inside on my last visit.
Well, he's a mage.
I sealed the door when I left to keep out ignorant meddlers. Let me unlock it.
Yeah, it was
The
more
book
about him.
is just inside.
It isn't just inside. He's lying.
So tantalizingly close. But trust me, no magic will open that. I'd have had the book already.
Oh, he's
if
really
it could.
bugged.
No, we'll have to do this the hard way.
But this is amusing.
If we can restore
See
the
how it
steam
does when
supply
it
to this room,
zones again.
I'm certain I can open it. As you'll see, that's easier said than done. This way to the boilers. Follow
Please.
me.
Please be unbugged on his own. He is not. Well, this is going to be terrifying. And a Chardak lasts a long time. I'm going to save.
Nichardak, the city of 100 towers. In its day, it was the largest of the great Dwemer archives, and perhaps the most advanced. In the old stories, when the Nords came to conquer it, it said that Dwemer submerged the entire city beneath the sea until the invaders gave up. I have my doubts, but the city was a marvel of Dwemer engineering, now reduced to this. As you can see, most of the lower levels of the city are flooded. But it isn't hopeless. The old Dwemer pumps still seem to work. Watch.
Oh, I'm watching.
But the pumps only operate when a cube is in the pedestal. Unfortunately, I only have one cube. These 4 boilers provide steam to the room upstairs. They're shut down, but they still respond to the control cubes. So, if we can find 4 more cubes, we can turn these boilers back on and restore steam power to the room upstairs. Then I should be able to open the book's protected case. Bring that cube. We'll need it.
Yes, Master Nella. This control cube has no icon but is displayable in the museum and should not be sold or given away. Okay, buddy. Prepare for me to get lost, like, a lot. I think I've probably only completed this maybe 3 times. And the directions are not great. Yeah, just basically do the thing. So I'm gonna be wandering a bit. Okay, that's to shoot at stuff. Oh dear.
As I said, we need to restore the steam supply to the reading room if we want to get the book.
Okay.
Shall we get on with it?
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't any quest markers here. See if there's a... Yeah, okay. Yeah, delete control switch here. It's dark. So I really struggle with these open-ended puzzles. We'll see how I do. I've been through here enough to know I can do it, but that I don't like doing it.
Three of the cubes are through here. This seems like a... You are no match for my magic. I hope the rest of the cubes are this easy to find. Although knowing the Dwemer, I rather doubt it. These must be the great workshops of Nachardak. Impressive, even in ruins. In the city's days of glory, it was reputed to be able to assemble a complete automaton in a single day. Much of the Dwemer's army at the Battle of Red Mountain must have come from here.
Okay.
Ah, good. Now we can see if we can find a way to get that next cube.
Very vague memories of this. Very vague. Alright. I don't remember. Yeah. Alright.
Who's there? You cannot bear my
Slow down, little buddy. Yeah.
So that's where you went. Aha! You cannot best my That's that.
Okay. No. Yeah, okay. Let's try this again. Sorry, Nella. Alright. Go back and collect the other
there?
cube. Ah!
So you chose today to die? Now it's my turn.
Okay. Fight knocked you back into being decent. Okay. So I can collect this cube, cross the bridge. Alright, it's not so bad. It's all back in the recesses of my brain. Every now and then it'll take mercy on me and throw something at me. Refer to my old friend, clairvoyance. Did I just go backwards?
Let's see where this leads. Very good. By my count, we've found a total of 4 cubes. Assuming you haven't dropped them.
It looked like you kicked them in the butt. Yeah, they stagger really well. Okay, good.
There seems to be an inexhaustible supply of these grammar contractions.
Frick. Okay. Whose ash spawn is that? Okay, I don't want to kill someone who might be our buddy.
You'll need to lower the water level before we can proceed any further.
Now we end this. I will not
What
fall.
is I love that model. The dwarven spheres are so cool.
Victorious again. By the fires of Red Mountain.
Okay, I'm thinking I need to go back and okay.
I will not fall.
Okay, I need to get some of those back, right? I'm not controlling the boilers yet. I'm gonna come back and do that. Right now we just need to get the water down and come back over here. Open the door. I do remember this room is frustrating.
Hope it won't require more swimming around in this filth. I'd guess that must be the pump activator up there. But how to reach it? We'll need to get all 3 of these bridges down in order to reach the pump control.
Oh, okay. Oh!
That's it. Don't touch anything else. Quickly now.
Yeah, right?
Who's there? Aha! No match for mine.
Sorry, I love you, but you don't love me.
Huh? I must have imagined it.
What a mess. I'm getting tired of waiting around in this I have an idea. I'll wait here and retrieve this cube once you find the last one. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.